Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this short Yin Yoga practice. So the Yin practice this evening is specifically to welcome in the spring, and will be a Yin Yoga for the liver, for working the meridians of the liver. So before we start the practice, you might like to have some props to help you. So maybe a nice blanket that you can fold over, perhaps a brick or a block or something like that. And if you have a bolster, that would be perfect as well. But if not, don't worry. So if you've never done a Yin practice before, just a reminder of some of the principles of Yin. So basically there are three principles. The first is that when we come into the pose, that we try to become muscularly very still. So that as we try to disengage all of the muscles as Yin is working into the joints, the fascia, and the nervous system. So we try to get into the pose and then switch off all of our muscles, the big muscles in particular. So that's the first thing we try to remember. And then when we come into the pose, the second is that we try to become still with the physical body, which isn't always easy. And then what you might find is that things start cropping up in the mind. So maybe a lot of mental activity. So if this does happen to you, just don't try to push away your thoughts too much, but rather just watch them floating by, just a little bit like white clouds moving by in the sky. So becoming an observer rather than completely caught up in your thoughts. And then finally, the third point is that we hold for time. So in our practice today, we're going to hold each pose between 3 and 4 minutes long, approximately. And above all, enjoy the practice. Just connect into your breath, and hopefully you will sleep really well after this lovely Yin practice. So to get started, we're going to do a little bit of breathing. So just finding a nice, comfortable, seated position. So let's prepare for some breath work, bringing your hands down to the low belly, closing your eyes and just breathing into the space, drawing the breath all the way down. And perhaps inserting a little pause before you exhale. And now sliding your hands up to feel into your ribs. And we'll begin our breath into the rib cage. Splay the fingers. Feel the ribs lift and expand out to the sides as you inhale. A long, deep breath. A long exhalation. And then finally we'll move our hands up to the chest, splaying the fingers, reaching out to the collarbone. Breathing in, filling up the whole chest cavity, moving out into the shoulders. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed and down from your ears. Again, maybe inserting that little pause at the top of the breath before you release. And then we'll place one hand on the low belly, one hand on the chest, and link the 3 phases of our breath. Breathing deeply now into the low belly, drawing the breath up into the ribs, and finally all the way up into the chest, collarbones, into the shoulders, radiating down the arms. Filling up now the whole trunk with breath. And again, inserting a little pause at the top of the breath before you release. Ujjayi breathing here, in and out through the nose. And when you've finished, just release your hands for a moment to your knees. And then slowly, without disturbing your energy, we'll move into our first yin pose, which is a wide knee child's pose. We're widening the knees to the outer edge of the mat. And in this one, I'm going to use the bolster as a support. If you have a deep stretch, you might come directly down to the floor. If you have a bolster, you might like to use it as support. So, finding a nice, comfortable position. Maybe moving, wiggling a little bit until you find that you're nice and comfy and that you can hold the pose for the next 3 to 4 minutes. Thinking about our 3 principles of yin. Firstly, that you try to switch off all the big muscles. Simply relax and allow your belly to soften down into the bolster, into the ground. Relax and release around the shoulders and around the arms. Remembering our second principle of stillness. Yin can help us cultivate stillness in the body. Just take a moment to observe any sensations that arise in the body. Any irritations? Can you withstand the urge to move, to itch? And just use your breath to massage into any part of the body that feels irritable or uncomfortable, so that you can allow for now your body to remain beautifully still. Equally, let us try to allow thoughts to drift by, not holding on to them. Just letting them move, floating by. Just using that image of clouds in the sky, moving by. We can observe them, but we don't need to latch on to our thoughts. Allowing the mind and the body to both become beautifully still. Begin to feel that stillness now within your body. How does that feel? Enjoying complete and utter stillness. Stillness through the body, bringing calm and stillness to the mind. Feeling too safe to completely release and let go. Feeling fully supported by the earth beneath. Enjoying these last few moments in this position. Keep observing your breath. releasing with each exhale. And now bringing the forehead back to the center as we prepare to move out slowly of this pose, trying not to disturb your energy, not moving too quickly. And for now, we'll just move our bolster to the side. And come to lie down on the belly and ease ourselves into a gentle Sphinx pose. So here, taking time to allow the legs to release and relax. Taking a little moment to check that the buttocks, in particularly, are fully released and relaxed. Can you find a comfortable position for your neck? A gentle and softness throughout the shoulder area. And with each exhalation, allowing your belly to soften down towards the floor. Beginning to feel again that stillness creeping into the body, stillness that you have allowed into your body, knowing that there is no need to move, to fidget. We can simply use our breath, directing it to massage any part of the body that is irritated or any sensation. Just allowing the breath to smooth out everything. Again, if the mind is busy, just directing it towards the breath, perhaps towards the sound of your breath, especially the exhalation, long and slow. The exhalation is where everything slows down. Keep returning to the breath as your anchor to this present moment. And for now, knowing that nothing else matters. We'll prepare to release by bringing the forehead down. Place your hands directly under your shoulder heads and gently ease yourself up. Draw your knees in and bring the blanket under your forehead for support. Release and draw your arms behind you, coming into a gentle reverse child's pose. And we'll just hold this little antidote pose for 1 minute. This pose will help you release your shoulders. So just think about the shoulder heads dropping down towards the floor. No tension across the shoulders or the upper back. Feel a softening creeping in to the shoulder blades. Belly is soft and relaxed. the mind is calm. To release, again, bring your hands under your shoulders. Gently press yourself all the way back up and maybe roll out the shoulders. So we'll come now into our next pose, which will be a sleeping swan pose. So we'll start with the right knee, bringing it up, bending it as you can, and maybe catching that blanket and inserting it under that right buttocks. Just to give you a little more support, making a pillow with your forearms and releasing your forehead down onto that pillow. The outstretched back left leg completely relaxed. Again, thinking about that first principle, disengaging as much as you can all of the muscles, especially the big muscles. Connecting to your breath. And again, each exhalation is an opportunity to release to the ground. Yin is a very grounding practice. So allowing the chest to draw down. Observing any sensations that arise in the body at this moment. Equally, any emotions that might arise. When liver chi is out of balance, we can sometimes have emotions of anger, impulsiveness, and just general resistance. So if you have any of these emotions, it can be helpful to gently turn towards your feelings, acknowledge them. Stay attentive, stay connected to your body, and above all, be compassionate to yourself. This idea of compassion is also associated with harmony in our liver chi, our liver energy. Enjoying now these last few moments in our sleeping swan pose. And as you prepare to release, coming up onto the hands, press them gently down, lift the chest. And we're going to release out through a little twist. So release the right buttock to the floor. Just gently swing the left leg over and cross it over your bent right knee. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Bring your left hand behind you and just gently twist here. We're not going to hold our twist or force into it. Remembering our yin principle of relaxing the muscles as much as we can. Softening through the belly. Release your head and neck back to center, and just then release the feet. Widen the feet to the edges of the mat and just drop your knees from left to right, easing out any tensions that may have built up in the lower back, in the hips. And then we will prepare to come into our sleeping swan on the other side. So again, taking your blanket, having it handy this time. Settling into the pose any way that you can. Don't worry about getting that leg perpendicular to the short edge of your mat. Just doing your best. Let the foot slip back as much as it needs to. Gently tilting a little from left to right, finding as much balance between the hips as you can. Making that pillow with your forearms. Allow the forehead down. Maybe continuing to wriggle or move slightly a little bit until you feel nicely and fully comfortable. Comfortable enough so that you can hold for time. So that you can release all of the big muscles. Allowing the joints to open. Allowing the fascia to stretch. And ultimately allowing the nervous system to calm. Switching into our parasympathetic nervous system. A healthy liver chi is also related to our ability to make plans and put those plans into action. One of its essential features when liver chi is balanced is flexibility and our ability to change and adapt within our world. Something which is important and will help us achieve a sense of resilience, not getting caught up in things that you have no control over. Continuing to release and relax with each exhalation. Preparing to release, press your hands down, lift the chest and head. Remove your blanket and again release the left buttock, this time swinging your right leg, crossing it over, hugging that thigh into your chest, and we'll take our gentle twist. Again, not exerting too much pressure or force. Just a little antidote to the previous pose. Softening through the belly. Slowly, we'll unwind everything back to center. Draw the soles again down, widening to the outer edges of your mat. And again, just dropping the knees from left to right. Easing out the hips, easing out the back. And then from here, gently ease yourself down fully onto the mat. Draw your arms into that nice cactus shape. Make sure that you are warm here, that your arms are not touching the back of a cold floor. And bring the soles of your feet to touch. Moving into our final posture, pose before our Shavasana, lying butterfly. So this pose, working deep into the hips, groin and inner thighs, working up along our liver meridian, but also a very open and vulnerable pose as we have the whole of the front body open, the whole of the front body, allowing the breath to fully come in. You might like to return to our 3-phase breath that we practiced at the beginning of the session. Drawing the breath first down into the low belly, up into the ribs, up into the chest, into the shoulder heads, all the way out into the arms. A little pause at the top before you release. Release the shoulders, shoulder blades, chest, rib cage, low belly, hips, thighs, knees, enjoying this deep opening through the body. Feeling closer to the earth now, feeling more and more grounded. Each exhalation an opportunity to let go of anything that you are holding that serves you no more purpose. Let go physically, emotionally, mentally, allowing yourself to release and let go of all that does not serve you. Knowing that it is okay to do so. It is okay to release and let go of your worries. Slowly releasing from our butterfly, hug your knees to your chest, give your back a little gentle massage, and we will prepare for a Shavasana. I'm going to take a nice blanket. You might like to do the same. Setting yourself up for a successful, beneficial Shavasana. Shavasana in which you can fully relax, release and let go. You need to be nice and warm, nice and comfortable. As always in these practices online, if you have time, you might simply press pause now. Put your favorite relaxing music on and just allow yourself to drift off in Shavasana for as long as feels good to you. If you're short on time, though, it is still really important to take a mini Shavasana. So the arms alongside the body, palms facing upwards to the ceiling, just allowing the shoulders to roll out. The chin is very gently dipped towards the chest, keeping the neck in line with the spine. So in Shavasana, again, giving yourself that permission to enjoy the stillness that will come easy to you now as you have cultivated it through the yin poses that we have been through. So now is the time to reap the benefits of that, to download the benefits of the practice, to reward yourself with complete stillness, a moment of complete and utter peace. Nothing is moving and nothing needs to move. Mind is calm. The mind is calm and free from worry. Listening in to the gentle ebb and flow of your breath. If it's time for you to move, begin to take some gentle stretches. Stretch your arms behind you, hug your knees to your chest. Ease yourself gently up, rolling onto one side. Finding again a nice, comfortable, cross-legged, upright position. We'll close our practice by bringing our hands into prayer, bringing the prayer to our third eye chakra, reminding us to have kind and loving thoughts, bringing the prayer to our lips, reminding us to have kind and loving speech, and sealing at the heart center, reminding us to have love and compassion for others and most especially ourselves. Namaste.